Hi, my name is David, and today I want to give an overview of the many features of OneNote, which make it my favorite piece of software. This is a feature overview and not a tutorial, so I won't explain how to use some of the features, but rather just let you know that they exist, so if you are interested you can go and search among the many tutorials on YouTube. Also, I'll be using OneNote 2013, but the UI changes are minimal from OneNote 2010, so everything I say applies to both. I'm creating this overview because I frequently encounter people who have never heard of OneNote, and they're unaware of how powerful and useful and fun it can be. So instead of frequently repeating my over-enthusiastic 15-minute presentation on the benefits of OneNote, I can just point them to the screencast. Despite the fact that OneNote is installed on many folks' computers as part of Microsoft Office Suite, right alongside of Word and Excel and PowerPoint, Microsoft has done such an abysmal job marketing this product that most people haven't touched it. If I was to define OneNote, I would describe it as a tool for you to organize your information across all areas of your life in a way that's flexible and searchable. Okay, so let's start with how your notes are organized in OneNote. The idea is to allow you to organize notes like you would in a physical notebook, for example, a 3-ring binder or one of those black composition notebooks. But in OneNote, at any point, you could reorganize your notebooks, or your notes. So the top level organization is the notebook, which is shown here on the left. And you typically use these for broad categories such as work, projects, personal notebook, classes, lab. These can be expanded and collapsed to show the sections that are inside. And so inside each notebook are tabs or sections. And for example, in my projects notebook, I have tabs for each project I'm doing or subject I'm researching. And I can even group some of these tabs as a sections group, such as this group of tabs, which are electronics related. And you notice that here we have pages on the right, and each tab has its own set of pages. And you can create these pages and make some of them subpages, which can be expanded and collapsed in addition to save space. A OneNote page is like a canvas for your thoughts, where you can place text, lists, links, handwriting, images, audio recordings and video recordings, files, and printouts, anywhere on a page in a way that shows how they're related to each other. Many people might use Word or Notepad documents to take notes and then save them all over their computer, scattered throughout their folders, never to be easily found again. And these programs aren't good at including many different types of information. They focus on text, entered as one linear document. But because you can include a variety of types of information on the OneNote page, and because it's flexible on how you arrange information on the page, you can be much more creative, like you would on actual paper, and this makes your notes much more meaningful and fun. So you can also create unfiled notes, or quick notes, as they're called. And these are for times when you don't want to spend time being organized. You just want to get the information down, such as if someone's giving you information over the phone, or if you're noting down information which doesn't belong anywhere. And you can just open up one of these unfiled notes using the Windows key plus N shortcut. And or you can create one by clicking on the OneNote icon in the taskbar. And then you can just enter your information and close. And you notice that, like everywhere in OneNote, the information is auto-saved. You never need to click Save anywhere. And the quick notes you create are stashed in this unfiled notes section. And the page title, listed here, is the first line of the note. And later, if you want to categorize the note, you can just move it to any notebook and tab you like later. Now that we've covered organization, let's talk more about what types of information you can place on a OneNote page. I'm going to open up a page that includes a variety of types of information. And the most common type of information is text, of course. And with OneNote, you can either type text in or handwrite it in if you have a tablet PC or a graphics tablet. And personally, I've been a huge fan of handwriting ever since I got my first tablet PC 7 years ago. I used it through college, taking notes with it, as well as doing my homework, and this means that when I graduated, instead of having a box of 3-ring binders I have to lug around or throw away, I have all my class notes and homeworks in OneNote which makes it easy to go back and refresh my memory on a topic. I still use a tablet PC for taking notes at work and for doing projects around the house. Anyway, regardless of whether you type the text in or handwrite it in, it's created in its own box, and this box is movable and resizable as you wish. You can also create tables inside of OneNote, as here. And what's nice about OneNote 2013 is it has a new feature where tables can be opened in Excel and edited there, which you have a lot more options for editing. And then when you save it in Excel, it's reloaded, or the changes are automatically updated in the OneNote page as well. And so the text that you create has the same formatting options and styles as you would have in Word. And also automatic bulleting is done for lists, things like this. And also we have the similar mini toolbar as we see in Word. You can also copy-paste images into OneNote, and you can import screenshots in a useful way. So for example, say we have this PDF open, and I want to capture this diagram of this guy electrocuting himself. I can open OneNote, click on where I want the screenshot to appear, insert, screen clipping, and OneNote will automatically minimize itself to get out of the way of the content I want to capture. Then I just drag a box over whatever I want to capture, and it's pasted into OneNote wherever my cursor was. Then pasted content also has a timestamp here, which you can disable this feature if you like. Delete these. And so you can also add audio and video recordings to OneNote pages. And during my college days, I used this feature all the time to record lectures. And nowadays I record meetings at work. And that way I can just focus about thinking what we were discussing in the meeting instead of distracting myself with taking notes. And that way I know when I get back to my desk, I can review any part of the meeting I was confused about or want to think about more. So you can add recordings, going to Insert and Record Audio. And when I insert an audio recording, OneNote will turn on my mic and start recording. And a recording tab appears, which has transport controls and some recording options. And the audio recording is automatically added to the page as a file. So stop this recording. When I click on this file, the playback tab will appear with all the transport controls. And all the same is true with video recordings, and OneNote will automatically use any webcam you have connected to your computer. You can also insert files on the OneNote pages. You can do this in 3 different ways. First is by inserting a link to a file. However, these links aren't maintained, so if you change the location or name of that file on your hard drive, the link will be broken. Also, if you sync your notebooks to other computers, which we'll talk about later, this file won't be available to the other computers. And that's why we have the second option, which is to insert a copy of the file onto the page via file attachment. This will create an icon on the page, like so. And because it's a copy of the original, it will always be accessible from this page, even on other computers this notebook is synced to. However, because it's only a copy of the original, changing the original won't change the copied file on this page. But if you click the icon, you can get a link to the original, assuming the path is still the same, of course. However, you also don't need the original, because one of the cool things about copied files is that I can open and edit them, and when I save them, the changes will be saved back to the page. In this way, OneNote can become like a file explorer, but better because you can arrange files however makes sense to your thought process instead of in a folder tree. Just to show you how time-saving this can be, let me show you how I use this feature on my inventory page, which I use to keep track of my electronic components. So let's go to Preset Projects. So here's my inventory page. So I have a table here with the part numbers and the description and the quantity and the parts data sheets. Instead of searching my hard drive for the data sheet for a particular part, I can find it on the table, listed alphabetically or by its number. Then click the link to the data sheet and then open it. So, yeah. The last way you can save a file to a page is with the printout feature, which will, as it sounds, print out the file contents to the OneNote page. There are several ways to do this. You can either use the file printout button here, or if you want more flexibility, you can go into the program from which you are trying to print and choose the print option and bring up the printing wizard. And because you have OneNote installed on your system, the printing wizard will always have the option to send to OneNote, no matter what program you're in. And this is cool because you can choose any options that you'd normally be able to choose when you're sending a document to a physical printer. So for example, I can change portrait or landscape, I can choose which pages I want to print to OneNote, I can choose which pages I send to OneNote, and so it's very flexible. And this came in useful for me in college because I had a professor who would distribute his notes via PDF. So to take notes, I would insert printouts of his PDFs into OneNote and then I would use my tablet PC to take handwritten notes right on top of them. And note that they didn't have to be PDFs. He could have given us any file. As long as I can print the file to a printer, I can print it to OneNote. So that concludes our discussion of the types of information you can place on a OneNote page. And next, I want to talk about the feature that I consider to be OneNote's most amazing and powerful feature, and it's probably its greatest advantage over traditional pen and paper. Despite pen and paper's flexibility and ease of use, once I've accumulated a lot of notes, it's a major hassle and time sink for me to find any specific information I wish to return to. Sometimes I don't even remember which notebook it was in. But in OneNote, you can search through all the content from this box here on the right, and your search scope can include all your notebooks, your current notebook, your current section group, your section, or just the page. And it's incredible the types of content OneNote can search through, so let's take a look at some of them. OneNote will obviously search through text. Let's do an example on this page which has text. And as I type, the search is updated real time. So if I type in song, see, start with S, some are highlighted. If I go to O, I see them highlighted down here. And the updates are also shown on here, shows me which notebooks and which pages this can be found in. And so you can also include special characters in your search. Quotes will find exact phrases, and between terms will find paragraphs that contain all the listed terms, or between terms will find paragraphs with any of the listed words, etc. There's documentation for others online. So not only will OneNote find search hits in typed text, but it has an amazingly accurate handwriting recognition capability. As an example, let's return to my class notes. And let's say that the final in this class is coming up, and I wanted to see any notes I have about what will be on the final. So I can choose search this section, because I want just this class, ECE 4270, and I can type in final. And if it hit the shortcut Alt-0, it opens up a little tab over here showing me the results. And also, I can see here highlighted the pages which have hits in them. So it finds the word final here, which you'll notice this is actually a printout, and printouts appear as images. So it's searching an image, which is pretty cool. But even better, here it found the more image. Let's see. Yeah, here. I typed the word final, and it recognized that. So that's pretty sweet. Again, down here. So what's even more amazing is that OneNote will index your audio and video recordings while OneNote is idle, and will index the spoken words inside those recordings. So if you search for something which was spoken inside a recording, the search will find it and give you a timestamped link to exactly where in that recording the search words are found. So for example, I have an audio recording, or I have a video recording. And let's just watch this video so we know that what we're searching for. Switching mode power supply that I just designed based on the simulation that I did in Circuit Lab currently takes in 7.5 volts from these batteries, and it can output 25 volts. However, I'm still working on getting the... Okay, so the video was about a power supply. So if we go to our search, and for simplicity let's just search this section, and we type in power supply, Alt-0, and audio search results. Compared to view matches, you'll notice we have 2 hits, and they're both inside this switching mode power supply file, which is this video. And we mention power supply here, and then we mention the term power here 20 seconds in. So if I click here, switching mode power supply that I just designed based on the simulation that I did. We went right to saying power supply. Click on here, we should hear the word power. To power a lower resistant load. So it was able to find the spoken word in this video file, and it does this across all audio recordings and video recordings. Okay, now that we've covered search, let me introduce a cool concept in OneNote called linked notes. So, and often when you're taking notes, it is about some information that you're reviewing outside of the OneNote program, such as a web page, a Word document, PowerPoint presentation, etc. It'd be useful if the notes you take have a link back to the content that the notes were about. OneNote has a mode called Docked Mode, which does just this. In Docked Mode, next to every line of text you enter, OneNote will automatically add a link to whatever you were viewing when you took the note. When you click this link, which appears as a small icon, it will open the content you were viewing when you took the note. So, let me show you an example. So I'm going to dock this, actually, first. Let us create a new quick note. Dock it. And it will only take up part of the screen, which leaves lots of room for my main content. And I can adjust how much room this takes. I think it will take up to half the screen. Yes. So let's start with a web page. So if I take notes when I'm in this browser, notes about the maybe just a few notes about the interface. Okay, good. So if I take notes while I'm using my browser, each line of notes I have will have an icon next to it. And hovering over the line shows this icon, and hovering over the icon shows a snapshot. And closing this. Clicking the icon will open the URL in the browser. So, as a side comment, if I ever want to relink this note to some other URL or document, I can right-click it and relink the content, and it will update the link to whatever information I have open here. So, in addition to linking to a URL, OneNote can also link to your cursor location in Word or Excel, or to a slide in PowerPoint. I'll let you try that for yourself. Unfortunately, OneNote currently does not natively support linking to browsers other than IE, or to PDFs. However, there is a plugin at this website, it shows up on screen, that will allow you to link notes to Chrome and to Firefox. And this plugin also allows you to link to PDFs, but only if you're using Acrobat Standard, which is kind of expensive, so it's not really a good solution, but it's the only solution I've found for linking to PDFs. I should also mention that you can dock OneNote to any edge of the screen. And not just the right edge, and so what is cool is that other windows always maximize to the remaining screen space. So, let me get my browser back. So they always match the remaining screen space, and even the split window function works. So it's as if programs don't even know that this space over here exists, which it works very nicely. Another note-linking feature available in OneNote is the ability to link notes you take during audio recordings to the place in the recording where you took the note. I'll show you an example. This can be done in either docked mode or normal mode. We'll do it in normal mode. So, to do this, you just insert an audio recording and start taking notes. So, this is note 1, note 2, so stop the recording. So at each line of notes I take, a link is created which will start playback starting at the time when the note was taken in the recording. So this is great for reviewing lectures or meetings, so you can easily return to a specific moment in the recording based on your notes. Notes can also be linked even after audio files are recording. All I do is play back the recording, start taking notes, and these too will be linked. Moving on from linked notes, let's discuss how you can sync and share your notes. OneNote supports syncing each notebook to all your other devices via either Microsoft's free cloud storage called SkyDrive or using a network drive. I use both methods regularly with great results. I found syncing to be fast, and I can insert an image or screenshot into OneNote page on my desktop PC, and within 10 seconds it's shown up on my tablet. I can actually show an example here. So I am going to write on this page in my tablet, writing on the tablet. And because I have my notebooks on my tablet and my PC being synced via SkyDrive, my notes will appear on my PC shortly. There they are. So, and syncing speed is one area where OneNote 2013 has noticeably improved over 2010. So in addition to syncing your notes to your own devices, you can also share your notebooks with coworkers and friends. And you can give them the option to edit, review, or edit as well. And when different users make changes, these changes will be highlighted in each user's notebook until they mark them as read. And the changes will have, see, I can do this, show authors, and their initials will show up next to the changed text. So both these features can be disabled though, if you're the only user, or you find it unnecessary. So every page in OneNote also has a version history, which you can browse easily and revert to previous versions. So these features make collaborating with others in OneNote easy to track and easy to revert in case of mistakes. So you can even collaborate on OneNote notebooks with others who don't even have Microsoft Office. Anyone who signed up for the free SkyDrive account will have access to the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote Microsoft Office web apps, which are less featured versions of their desktop counterparts. So those without Office can still read and edit notebooks you shared with them. And I've found these web apps especially useful for when I'm on a device that doesn't have Microsoft Office. I can still sign into my SkyDrive account on any device and still access all my notebooks. Okay, before I finish, I want to mention a few last features, which I don't consider core features, but are worth mentioning regardless. First, OneNote includes the ability to password protect tabs, sections, and this is important if you want to use OneNote for keeping track of finances or as a personal journal. And behind the scenes, these sections are encrypted, so they are genuinely secure, even from you if you forget the password. Also, since OneNote has optical character recognition, OCR, it allows users to extract text from images. Classes. So I can select the text from image here. And this is handy for me because I live in Germany, and my German isn't all that good yet, and all my mail is in German. So I usually have to type all my mail into Google Translate. But instead, I can scan or take a photo of the document, insert it into OneNote, and extract that image, extract that text from the image, and then insert that into Google Translate, so it's quite a time saver for me. OneNote will do translation of text inside OneNote, but I haven't actually found it to work that well, partially because it doesn't maintain formatting. OneNote is also nicely integrated with Outlook. At least OneNote 2010 is. I haven't figured out how to do it in 2013 yet, but I haven't tried that hard. But you can create tasks in OneNote, and they will show up in your Outlook tasks. And also you can insert information into OneNote about a meeting that you've scheduled in Outlook, which is one more reason OneNote excels at documenting meetings. Lastly, OneNote provides a list of tags that you can assign to a line of notes. And these tags are listed here. And you can create custom tags. And you can find all tags of a certain type here. And it'll look through all your notebooks for those tags. And for example, I tag certain notes as to-dos, like I have in my project stat-I list. And I can show a list of all the outstanding to-dos I have in my notes here, doing my search. So one last feature, which is kind of a strange use case, but it demonstrates how well constructed OneNote is technically. First of all, I can open up several instances of OneNote, which I found to be useful. And if I open up several instances of OneNote on my PC and start editing in one, the notes appear in the other instance without any problem. And this might seem trivial, but my experience has shown that only well-written software functions nicely with multiple instances manipulating the same content. So, this concludes my overview of the features in OneNote, and I thank you for watching this entire feature overview. Hope it's given you a taste of OneNote and the power it has to help you organize and search your notes. So, thanks. Bye.